Jubilee is the perfect ode to the golden age of Indian cinema, a period beginning mostly after the partition that witnessed the rise of creative visionaries who uplifted the storytelling ethos and brought to life some tear-jerking works of art which reflected a new persona of independent India. Those films have become lessons in film education. That period has been etched as an unforgettable memory. And Jubilee does a fantastic job of not just paying tribute to that time, but also taking us back to the same surrounding, oozing the magical aura of the golden age. And that's exactly what you expect from a story that captures the past. You always want the audience to feel transported to that exact moment in time where the story is based. You want your narrative to transcend the audience to the same world by turning back the pages of time. And there is only one way to achieve that: authenticity. And how do you achieve authenticity? Representation. It is how you visually represent the world of your characters. Visual representation is how you introduce your audience to the world of your characters where the events take place. And since we are talking about a show representing the golden age of Indian cinema, you have to pay very close attention to everything that the camera will capture. You have to make calculated and precise choices of everything that will be in front of the camera. And the term that perfectly summarizes this visual representation of a story is mise en scène. Mise en scène is a French word that literally means setting the stage. When you think about establishing the look and feel of your story, what you are actually talking about is establishing the mise en scène. That is, everything you see in front of the camera, which includes location or the set design, placement of the props, position of the actors, which is also called blocking, the lighting, the camera angles, the costumes, makeup, and even the background score. All these elements are combined to achieve the atmosphere of your story, which makes the audience feel that they are a part of that same world. And as a storyteller, you also justify the setup of your characters. In the case of Jubilee, the makers achieve an authentic aesthetic of the show by paying close attention to its mise en scène. And these peculiar creative choices empower the aura of the characters and reflect the depths of their actions. Let's take a few examples. Right from the first episode, you will clearly notice how the makers of Jubilee have established a hierarchy between the characters with the help of their costumes. Their attire reflects not just their social status, but also their characteristics. But the most interesting way of conveying the meaning behind their actions is by attaching the habit of smoking and the use of props for that activity. Like Shrikant Roy will always light up a cigar to show his mighty stature, pride, and most importantly, exercise control over other characters. And those inferior to him in terms of these aspects will always light a cigarette or a beedi. The rise of Binod and Jay in the world of cinema is clearly represented by the transition of their smoking devices. And whenever someone else lights up their smoking device, it represents true or false support for their goals. I agree that this is a very regular activity, but it ends up becoming an effective method for show don't tell. Coming to lighting, this series heavily relies on low-key lighting to introduce shadows and contrast, not just visually, but metaphorically. For example, in episode 1, when Shrikant orders Binod to bring Sumitra and Jamshed to him, you only see the silhouette of Shrikant with a pinch of a red light hitting his shoulder. However, Binod's face is covered all over with the red light, which I think is trying to foreshadow his action of killing Jamshed in this scene. In episode 3, when Nilofer tries to seduce Shamsher Walia and they have a moment in the car, you will see how Nilofer's face is half hidden in the dark, which explains her ulterior motives. She's just playing with Walia. In episode 4, when Maqsood confronts Binod as the undeserving Madan Kumar, you see how the spotlight falls straight on Binod, representing the power of his fame and wealth. And even in this close-up, the spotlight belongs to Binod. There's also a great use of motifs or recurring objects in the series. From the watch, to the tickets, to the script page, to the movie posters of the film, and to the film reel case of Jamshed's OK Take. All these motifs help in connecting the dots and give an authentic flavor to the setting of Jubilee. And I'm sure that there are a lot of examples that you can share in the comments. The episode names are literally the names of films mostly released in the Golden Age. and every film fits perfectly with what happens with the characters in every episode. The influences of legendaries like Guru Dutt, Devanand, and Raj Kapoor are spread across the entire series, including the songs. My favorite song is Darya Cha Raja, which summarizes the rise and fall of Binod's dream to becoming a star in the galaxy. The way he remembers the charm of the spotlight reflects how his innocent dream of becoming an actor turned into a criminal pursuit of achieving success. But my favorite part of the mise en scène is the presence of this establishment, the Empire cinema. For the audience, it is an entertaining escape from their reality, but for their characters, it is a battleground where everything is fair to achieve victory. And the choices our characters make to go to great lengths come with certain consequences. And those consequences get highlighted with the help of creating the perfect mise en scène. Everything surrounds the golden age of Indian cinema, of which Jubilee becomes the perfect tribute.